Welcome to East Alabama Today, featuring topics, events, and interesting people from all over East Alabama. Hosted by Carl Brady. Now, let's get right to the show. Here's Carl Brady.
Hello, everyone. Welcome into East Alabama Today. I'm Carl Brady. Thank you for being with us on today's program. As always, we want to start things off with a little contact information for the show. If you have an idea for us, we'd love to hear from you. So the best way to get in touch with me is to send me an email at cbrady@tv24.tv. Fairs, festivals, special events, things that are going on in your community. You guys are our eyes and ears out on the street, so that's how we find out what's happening in our 9-county coverage area of East Alabama. So send me emails, cbrady@tv24.tv, about any of the special events that are going on that you might be involved with. Now, we're also looking for the interesting people who live in the community. Maybe you know someone who's a writer, an artist, or a musician. Maybe they have an odd or an interesting hobby and you think they would be a great guest for the show. Well, that's exactly who we are looking for. So send me the email information about them as well. Again, that email address is cbrady@tv24.tv. And don't forget that you can now see the show online, on demand, anytime that you want to see it. Go to our website, tv24.tv, go to the on-demand section, click on East Alabama Today, and there you can see shows that have been archived from the past few weeks, and you can check them out right there in the comfort of your home or office or wherever you happen to have a computer that you can watch the show online. So do that at tv24.tv. We'll be back in just a moment, so hang out with us here on East Alabama Today.
Baker Piano and Music Company, in our 53rd year of service to you. Baker Piano and Music continues its tradition of excellent service and affordable prices. Baker stocks a wide variety of new and used upright and grand pianos. Find a large selection of electronic keyboards, guitars, and amps. Also take piano and guitar lessons. Baker Piano and Music, 211 Broad Street in downtown Gadsden. Call 256-546-4038. Find us on Facebook or visit GeraldBakerMusic.com.
Welcome back into East Alabama Today. Again, I'm Carl Brady, and today we're going to be talking about the Northeast Alabama Heartwalk for 2014. We've been part of this for the past several years, and proud to bring you information about this year's Heartwalk as well with the American Heart Association. And we have a couple of guests joining us here in our Gadsden studio today. First off, Mr. Ray Smith. Ray is the, welcome to the show. Ray is the chairman of the Heartwalk this year. And we also have Mr. Jim Edmondson with us from Riverview Regional Medical Center. Jim is the CEO there. Riverview is one of the biggest sponsors of the American Heart Association Heartwalk and has been involved for several years. So, gentlemen, welcome to the program. Thanks for being on with us today. And Ray, just start me off with some general information about Heartwalk. When's it going to be, and what's it all about?
Carl, thanks for having us today. The Heartwalk will be on Saturday, the 27th, at the YMCA of the Coosa Valley. Festivities begin at 8 o'clock, and the actual walk begins at 9. Mm-hmm. There's festivities there for the whole family. Admission's free, can't beat free. And walk with us and learn a little bit about what you can do to help you and your loved ones protect that heart. Yeah,
be a little heart healthy and to get some exercise, and there's a lot of things that go into that, the festivities leading up to the Heart Walk. So even if you're not going to come walk, you can still come and enjoy the fun and cheer on a favorite walker.
That's right. There'll be plenty of information there that we can share with people on changing lifestyle habits, mm-hmm. and just things you can do for you and your loved ones to help make a difference in your overall lifestyle.
Right.
It's kind of like a tailgate atmosphere, if you will.
Yeah.
A lot of fun leading up to it, kind of loud at times. Tailgating with some health screenings, and all for a very good cause.
Well, Jim, talk about the hospital's involvement. Why do you guys get so heavily involved in a project like this?
Well, I don't know if our viewers know this or not, Carl, but heart disease is the #1 killer in the United States. It's responsible for 34% of the deaths in Etowah County alone. Mm-hmm. And so our hospital is very concerned about that. We have obviously a cardiac program, and but we want to focus on prevention, and that's the big focus here. I also want to include, just segue, that the walk's pet friendly, so don't make your pet keep you at home. There's a lot of dogs out there, and we just have a great time.
I noticed that as well, and there are not a lot of pet-friendly events around, so this would be kind of nice. Something we have a lot of pet owners around here who support pet organizations and animal organizations, so they'll be glad to know that they could come out and bring their animal out to exercise with them.
It's a good opportunity to get a screening too. A lot of us are pretty lackadaisical sometimes about getting to the doctor and getting those screenings done, and so. Encourage everybody to come out, and again, it is a lot of fun. It's special to me because my first Heart Walk here in Etowah County was the first Saturday of my first week at work at Riverview, and so not knowing very many people, I went out to the event and met a bunch of people, walked with a lot of folks. You can run or walk it, by the way, so for runners, feel free to come out and run it. But so it's special to me from that standpoint. The hospital was well represented last year. We had a ton of folks out there and a ton of folks from the community. I'm impressed how much this community turns out for this kind of event.
Ray, talk about your involvement as the chairman of the Heart Walk. What got you involved?
Well, the personal reason I got involved with it is my dad, who didn't take advantage of screening back in the 80s, had a massive heart attack at age 50 and died at age 61. I had two sons at the time who were 5 and 7, and he missed out on a lot. And not only that, they missed out on a lot by not having Grandpa around. So I'm now blessed to have grandsons of my own, 1-year-old and 5-year-old, and I want to be here and grow old, helping them and watching them bring even the next generation in. So, and I got a message earlier today from a good friend of mine, posted on Facebook. The grandmother of John Wesley Foster, who died from heart condition as just I think he was 8 or 9 years old when that happened. But you hear stories like that where if the right person with the right training in the right place could save that young man's life. So the education that comes from it, the American Heart Association does a great job with training materials, with providing grants for research that provide a lot of the techniques that we can use as just ordinary citizens. We put the AED devices in each of our banks. If we have a good customer and good friend fall out in one of our bank lobbies, our staff is trained and equipped to maybe save someone's life. And so it's just something that, as Jim said, the #1 killer, 34%. I mean, if we live long enough and we're in the right place, sooner or later, it's going to happen that we have the opportunity to save somebody's life. And the educational aspects of what the American Heart Association is about and funding the grants and all, it's a great, great organization, and no better way we can get involved as a community to promote health, exercise, educational screenings. If your cholesterol's high and you find out about it, you can do something about it. If it's high and you go ignorant to that fact for your whole life, and all of a sudden, boom, you got a massive heart attack because you've got such massive blockage in your coronary arteries, it's too late. And so the American Heart Association just does a fantastic job in all aspects of helping prevent heart disease.
Absolutely, and I'll bring this up because the man involved was treated at Riverview, and Jim, you may be aware of this. 3 Gadsden police officers were honored just yesterday as we tape this for saving a man's life, being in the right place at the right time and knowing exactly what to do. They were on patrol. The man was a lineman for AT&T. As they drove by, they saw something happen. His helmet, his hard hat fell off. He fell to the ground. They stopped to see what was going on, and he was unconscious with no pulse by the time they got out of the car. They did CPR, called in the medics, saved the man's life, and he's back at work already. They took him to Riverview. They put a stent in. He's back at work already. But had those police officers not been there at that exact moment and known what to do, his doctors told him he would have died. He would not have survived that heart attack.
I don't think it won't happen. We had a young girl come to work for us in a tech position, and she had just learned CPR. and she was following a gentleman home on her way back home from work, and she noticed he was driving erratically, and he actually wrecked, and so she pulled in to see what had happened. He had had a heart attack, and she did CPR on him, and she saved his life.
Wow. Amazing stories like that all around, and that's what Heartwalk is about, is bringing awareness to the issue of heart disease and treatment and prevention. A big deal is education, bringing all that awareness out there. Let's talk a little bit more about the walk that day. You said you could walk it or run it. It's like 3.1.
That's right, 3.1 miles.
3.1 miles.
Believe it or not, some people end up walking 2 blocks and decide to turn around and come back.
That's okay.
Which is fine. Last year it was a little bit cold, and so we had more than normal decide to cut the walk short and come back. But really, all ages, we had people with their children in their strollers and pushed them along with them during the walk, and there's a lot of, as Jim mentioned earlier, just a lot of good booths set up, informational. Hey, we'll have 300 or 400 people out there, and we'll have a blast in the walk.
Yeah, and one of the important things is free. This is not a fundraiser event where you're going to pay $30, $40, $50 to participate in this walk to raise money for an organization. This is free. This is a community event. Come out, get some information, and enjoy a fun community event, right, Jim?
Absolutely. You'll never have so much fun for such a good cause. It really is a really, really fun event.
Well, we need to take a commercial break, so we'll get that done and be back in just a moment. We're going to swap out our guests a little bit and introduce you to someone else, and be back here on East Alabama Today. Stay with us.
Baker Piano and Music Company, in our 53rd year of service to you. Baker Piano and Music continues its tradition of excellent service and affordable prices. Baker stocks a wide variety of new and used upright and grand pianos. Find a large selection of electronic keyboards, guitars, and amps. Also take piano and guitar lessons. Baker Piano and Music, 211 Broad Street in downtown Gadsden. Call 256-546-4038. Find us on Facebook or visit GeraldBakerMusic.com.
Welcome back into East Alabama Today. As you can see, we've changed our panel around a little bit here. Jim Edmondson is still with us, but we have added Dr. Marian Manankil from Riverview Hospital as well. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Great to have you on. And you know, we've been talking about the American Heart Association and the Heart Walk that's coming up September 27th. That I wanted to talk with you a little bit about heart disease. What are some of the things that people need to know to make their life safe, to be safe from heart disease?
Yes, like they said earlier, it's a #1 killer. It beats all of the cancer put in together. And also stroke, which is related to heart disease. It's the #4 killer. So what we usually advise our patients, usually weight loss, and we do that not with crash dieting, but like lifestyle changes. So you exercise, you walk like what we're promoting now, eat healthy, make sure your cholesterol, your blood pressure, your sugars are good, and we're going to check that during the heart walk.
We are indeed. We'll have screenings for all
Just blood,
three.
yeah, it's just a blood stick. It's just a finger stick, and then we can get your cholesterol, your glucose as well as we'll take your blood pressure.
Right.
Another thing that's most important is to stop smoking. A quarter of the population here in East Alabama still smoke, and we really advocate to stop smoking. And it's really prevention. We think that heart disease is a disease of older people. We're seeing acute heart attacks happen in less than 30-year-old patients now.
Is that something, is that a new trend based on lifestyles, or is that something that we just weren't aware of earlier?
We're probably not aware of it, and I mean, you think you're young, you're healthy, you don't get yourself checked. But you have family history, and with the way you eat, and then usually now, we're just at home watching TV, playing with our iPads or something, so you don't exercise. So we want to get those couch potatoes out and walk. There was actually a study in the, it involved like 13,000 people, 8-year study, long study, was saying that people who walk like 30 minutes would prevent premature death. If you walk an hour, like brisk walking, it's going to add 2 hours of your life. So it really works, and it's free. You can go out. It's a nice day. You can go out, walk, and with your dog or your kids or something. So.
Right.
So for every hour that you exercise briskly, you add 2 hours to your life?
2 hours.
Wow. Sign me up.
You have to quit working so much and start walking some. Or find a way to walk while I work or something like that.
Carl, I had a question for Dr. Manankil. Since for the folks that want to take advantage of the free screenings, do you recommend them not eat before they come in to get their blood?
Yes. Ideally, if we check your cholesterol, you have to fast at least 12 hours.
Okay.
Otherwise, we'll see cholesterol, through the roof. But since they're going to exercise, maybe have something. We'll have some healthy foods there too, so they can have their blood checked, and then they can get some food before walking.
Yes. I was going to mention that.
Some healthy snacks
That's
before
right.
you get started.
Yeah, we don't want passing out there.
Yeah, so no biscuit and gravy and on the way over, huh?
It's very hard here in the South. When I tell my patients eat healthy, I know it's hard here in the South.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, we have like bacon grease there. I'm like, well, let's try to avoid that. But there's actually a good website. It's free again. It's www.choosemyplate.gov. It would advise you on what to eat. It has some healthy recipes there too, and it works. So
absolutely. What's the biggest problem that you see as a doctor here in this community when people come to see you? Is it blood pressure? Is it cholesterol? What's the biggest problem you see?
Usually they come together: hypertension and high cholesterol. And if you're diabetic, usually it's the trio. But usually there's two. And with the new guidelines that came out for cholesterol, we just don't look at the cholesterol anymore. We look at you as a whole person. We input your age, your gender, your race, whether or not you have diabetes, smoking, or hypertension. And it gives us, what your realistic risks are for the next 10 years of developing heart attack or stroke. So, and people, they don't usually have any symptoms if their cholesterol is high or blood pressure is high, unless it's very, very high. So it's really a preventive. Go visit your doctor, have it checked, see what your numbers are, because you won't have symptoms at the start.
Do you think the advancements in medical technology have almost been a negative in some way? Because I hear people thinking, well, unless you have a massive catastrophic heart attack, as long as you get to the hospital in time, they can fix you nowadays. It's not that big of a deal, but it's still a big deal. You can still die.
I'm not taking that gamble.
No.
Absolutely.
But I think you're probably right that there are folks that, we have advanced tremendously in what we can do medically for folks, and even before or after a heart attack. And it may have made us become maybe a little numb to our own human condition, and I just was put in the hospital a couple of weeks ago with high blood pressure, and I've never had high blood pressure in my life, and so and I wasn't aware of it until it got, as she said, very high, and then I realized it.
Right. Well, I've had bouts of high blood pressure myself that I have to keep a close eye on and keep medication, and you being involved in music, you will appreciate this. Over the course of the past year, as I've been fighting with my blood pressure a little bit, and mine's, I don't have stress and drama and all that kind of stuff, but I have time pressure. I work 15-hour days, and I have deadlines throughout the day, and then things like that. So I have that kind of stress and that kind of pressure. But I usually thrive on that kind of stuff. I love that. But anyway, I've been keeping a close eye on my blood pressure. We were having a hard time getting it to go down to normal. I got home one afternoon, and I actually had 15 minutes to myself for the first time in ages. I sat down at my piano and played the piano for 15 minutes, checked my blood pressure, and it was normal for the first time in 2 or 3 months. So I'm getting myself back involved in music again.
I'll have to try that
things
myself.
like that. Yeah, absolutely. And just resting, having an opportunity to, not only the exercise, but getting away from stress, finding a way to de-stress, that can contribute to a healthier life as well.
And someone told me getting a good night's sleep as well.
Yes, I was going to bring it up. This condition, sleep apnea, it's very underdiagnosed here. People are ashamed to admit that they snore, but that makes hypertension very hard to treat if you have sleep apnea. You think you're just snoring, this and that, but it affects not only your blood pressure, also your heart and your lungs. So it's one of the things that we look at. If the patient has very hard, difficult to control blood pressure, we look at other risk factors surrounding.
Lots of things to look at there. The exercise part of this, and that's one of the reasons we're walking at a Heart Walk, is to promote healthy exercise. Other than walking, what would you suggest for people who have busy lifestyles? You know, you have some people who are paying tons of money to go to the gym, but for folks who have busy lifestyles, they got kids playing ball, they got work and the things going on. What are some easy exercise tips that people could do?
Well, if you're, for example, at work, instead of using the elevator, use the stairs. I mean, we walk around in your job. If you have arthritis, you can do some swimming, that's also good. But just 30 minutes of your time, at least 30 minutes of walking, and just do some like sweeping, some household chores. These are also helpful.
Just basically
get up and walk. Get up and move.
Get up and get moving is a good thing. Nutrition information changes constantly. One day this is healthy, one day this is not healthy. For just basic information, what would you suggest for healthy diet, healthy eating?
Yes. So if you want to eat some meat, okay, use the white meat. You can have a steak every now and then, as long as you don't have it every night. And these are vegetables, some fruits. That website I said would advise you the portions. It's not starving you. It's more of like portions of what you eat. You can have a piece of some ice cream every now and then, as long as you don't eat the whole gallon. It's really big portions. That's why we said it's a lifestyle change. It's not something you do 2 weeks and then you lose 10 pounds. When you fall back, you're going to go big again. So it's more the way you prepare your food. I have a patient who lost probably like 100 pounds. He started using olive oil and canola oil instead of bacon grease, and then when he has his food, he pats the fat off. So things like that, little things help.
Can make a big difference.
Right. And almonds and walnuts too, they help, and increasing the fiber in the diet, oatmeal, things like that.
All right, sounds good. Well, folks, we need to take another quick commercial break. We'll be back with a wrap up in just a moment. So hang out with us here on East Alabama Today.
Baker Piano and Music Company, in our 53rd year of service to you. Baker Piano and Music continues its tradition of excellent service and affordable prices. Baker stocks a wide variety of new and used upright and grand pianos. Find a large selection of electronic keyboards, guitars, and amps. Also take piano and guitar lessons. Baker Piano and Music, 211 Broad Street in downtown Gadsden. Call 256-546-4038. Find us on Facebook or visit GeraldBakerMusic.com.
Welcome back into our final segment of East Alabama Today. We've been talking today about the Northeast Alabama Heart Walk with the American Heart Association, brought to you by Riverview Regional Medical Center in Gadsden. And this is coming up on Saturday, September the 27th. It'll start off at the YMCA of the Coosa Valley. There's a 5K route, which is 3.1 miles, and it'll wind you around through downtown Gadsden and through the area there. The festivities and things like that get started at 8 o'clock. The walk itself will start at 9. You can run it, you can walk it, whatever you prefer to do. Remember, it is a free event. There's not a registration fee or registration charge, and it is a pet-friendly event if you want to have your pets come down, as long as they're on a leash, and walk with you as well. To get the information, the website is NEALHeartwalk.org, and it was at .org or .com? .org, okay. And that's the best way to find out any additional information that you might need on the Heart Walk coming up on September the 27th in Gadsden. And Dr. Manankil, welcome. Thank you for being on the program.
Much.
Glad to have you. Jim, thank you as well.
Thank you.
Appreciate your support of the American Heart Association, the hospital support. And folks, we thank you for supporting East Alabama Today and all of the events that are going on in the East Alabama community. Hope you have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.